Hello, everyone. It is Friday night. I'm not sure what time. So we're going to do a walk and talk at night. Just walking through the marina. Tonight's talk is on trust. So a couple of things I was thinking about when it comes to that is, do you trust yourself? So some people don't trust themselves. They don't trust that what they're seeing is true, or what their intuition is giving them information about. They don't always trust it. So that can cause some real difficulties. Oh my gosh, look at that sunset over there. Wow. That just looks really great, doesn't it? So I think one of the things that I think about, I remember a long time ago, I realized I didn't trust my own self. And I was like, oh my God, I was like, I don't know, 25 years old or something like that. And, I just didn't always trust that either I was doing the right thing, or that my intuition was right. I didn't really have a name for it back then. Kind of do now, right? My gut feeling or my intuition is pretty on target now. Thank God. But, it didn't happen overnight, and it certainly does take some work to get to that place where you can trust yourself. And I do. When I feel right about something, for me, it's almost like a knowing. Like I recognize that I just know something. So there's something about that that's really comforting when you realize, hey, Janine, here we are again, huh, girl? So with that understanding that I have now, it's like I just know sometimes when something is right for me. I just know that it's right for the thing that I want to do or what I'm thinking about. And it's like a gut feeling that I'm very aware that I'm on the right path. And you know what? There's something really wonderful about that. There's a lot less doubt in my life nowadays, about what I want to do or what the next right thing might be. And look at that. Oh, the sun is going down. I still see some pink out there. It was a hot one today, right, guys? But you know what? It wasn't too bad down here on the river. I spent the day down here and just had some friends visit. My daughter and one of her friends, which was wonderful. It's always nice when you catch up with people and connect with them. So, as usual, there's a lot of action going on during the day. They had boats coming in and out. They had to wait for high tide for that to happen. And it was a gorgeous day overall. So the thing I think about with trust is that I need to trust myself when I make a decision, or when I am ready to make a decision. What is it that I'm thinking about that I want to do, and how do I want to move forward with that? So if you don't trust yourself, you're going to have a hard time with just about every decision, right? So, but it does come down to our motives. You have to be clear about what your motives are. Your expectations, sometimes they get in the way of creating that trust within yourself or with others. And I think one of the things about motives is sometimes it's not as clear as you'd like them to be when you're making a decision. So you have to really think about, well, what are my motives here? And then you can make that decision I think, with a little bit more certainty. But when you begin to examine that, you realize that, looking inside, examining your motives, making sure you have good intentions, and then, you know that that's something that's going to be the right thing, whether it's for yourself or somebody else. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Jer. Long time no talk, girl. So I think that's one of the things I think about when I think about trust. I can remember a long time ago realizing that when like I said, I was probably about 25 or so, and I realized that I didn't trust myself about certain things, and I was like, whoa, I got to get better at this. I don't want to live my life this way. So I really had to work on that. I had to work on, making right decisions for me, and knowing that they were the right decisions for me, trusting my gut, checking my motives, what are my expectations, not only of myself, but maybe of others, because sometimes that plays into it. And I think that's all important stuff to recognize when it comes to trust. And, there's a lot of different kinds of trust in the world, everything from trusting other people, like you can trust people before you know them sometimes, and maybe they are trustworthy then. And if you're burned or something happens and you realize that you can't trust that person, you have to accept that. It's not on you, it's on them. And sometimes that's hard because you really want to trust everybody, but not everybody has a pure heart. Not everybody's got good intentions, So you don't want to fall victim either to other people who are not trustworthy. So there's that. But you definitely want to be able to trust your gut and know that you're doing the things that you need to do to take good care of yourself. And trusting your gut and trusting your intuition is one of them. Hey, Deborah. So I think that's important when it comes to, like a business relationship or a personal relationship. You know what? You want to gather some details, gather some information. I used to just trust everybody because I thought everybody was trustworthy, and come to find out they weren't, But I also recognized that, I didn't have to go there the second time or the third. It's important to learn from something that maybe wasn't a good experience with somebody that you trusted. And, you realize I can't trust that person the way I thought I could. Or I can only trust them to this degree, which, you know what? That's okay too. There's a lot of different levels of trust. And so sometimes I think about that. Like, we trust that other people are going to stay on their side of the road. That's kind of like a given. When you're driving down the street, you trust that they're not going to go on the other side of the road onto your lane, into your oncoming traffic, hopefully. So that's one basic level of trust, right? But then there's also big trust in giving your heart to somebody, or being in a relationship with somebody and trusting that they won't abuse you, that they won't abuse that trust. And that's the part that you want to make sure that I always say, watch the behavior, don't listen to the words. And I found that to be good advice, is watch the behavior. If you're trying to develop a relationship, no matter whether it's personal or business or what have you, you want to watch the behavior of that person and see whether or not they are trustworthy, worthy of your trust. And behavior is the key indicator, not necessarily the words. So I usually go by that. I have found that to be true for me, that if I am able to, discern their behavior in a way that it all looks right and it all feels right, and I can go with my intuition on those things too. But when you watch somebody's behavior, you can see how they behave even towards others. That's important information. So that's a part of gathering information. That's always a good thing. Hey, Nina. So I think that's important, and developing relationships with people. do take time. I used to jump in with both feet. But you know what? It's not a bad thing to trust people right off the bat. And, that's the other thing I found, that over the years, I have, developed a lot of friendships and a lot of relationships with people that I value. And I pretty much attract people who have good intentions. And so I think when you raise your vibration, your energy level, to a place where the people who are maybe don't have as good intentions or are not very conscious at times, they're not even attracted to being around you. So that's a good thing for you, for me, to be aware of that. So, definitely want to be on a good vibrational level, energetically. I think that makes a big difference. And you don't want to be a victim, so don't do victim mentality. Don't always say, oh, I always get treated like this. Well, guess what? You're saying it again. You're telling yourself that. So don't use those words. Cancel. I only get treated with love and respect. And you just keep saying that. And if you have to, you say it in the mirror, to yourself, to your eyes. Look in your eyes and say, I always get treated with love and respect. And before you know it, you always will. And that you won't be getting abused by anybody else. And if that was a pattern in the past, you can change that. We go back to thought. Thoughts are things. So we're going to go back to the thought that, only loving, caring, and respectful people come into my life. You can use those kinds of affirmations to bring that about. And then you can trust who does come into your life, because you'll have a better level of understanding with the people that do. So those are my thoughts for today. We got a beautiful sunset gone already. All gone, all down. But the sun is always shining, as we know. And your infinite intelligence is always surrounding you with love and grace. And I love you. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Have a great night. Bye for now.